Hello Wolfpack. The topic of the video today is the fact that, I think that anyone holding cryptocurrency right now is in a very, very serious position, and anyone who's holding crypto right now would know that already. But this is something that we need to start talking about a bit more. A lot of people kind of don't like talking about it, but there is a serious possibility here that we could enter kind of like a Western world recession, potentially a global recession, and at least a recession in the USA. It's not certain, and if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates in a correct format, it could be avoided. But the fact of the matter is, the financial markets, particularly traditional markets and also the crypto markets, look terrible. There's no positive way to look at this thing. I mean, even if you're looking at Bitcoin TA alone, it looks bad. And then you start flipping over to things like the S&P 500, right? It looks terrible. And then there's lots of bearish divergence forming. We've been rejected from a lot of things, short-term double top formation. Then you take into account the actual fundamentals behind it. And first and foremost, you got interest rates being risen for the first time since 2018 during a pandemic type environment in which economies are locked down. Governments and companies have taken out massive amount of debt. People have bought houses on very, very, very low interest rates, about to get shocked with an interest rate rise that's going to absolutely eat them alive. We're going to have some serious problems here, and I think that it's not certain, but it's more than likely at this point. And I think that people are kind of just looking at the charts and just kind of neglecting and pushing it back. And this is the mindset that has led to where we are right now in 2022 right now, where we have an economy that's basically on its last legs, although the government will never admit that, because they'll keep showing you these job reports that they're saying, more people are employed than ever, when in reality, inflation's at highs we haven't seen in 40 years. Interest rates are at lows we haven't seen in probably 40 years as well. And we just can't keep sustaining at the pace we're going right now. And I think the main reason I'm making this video is not only to just rant about this, but also to tell you guys that I'm just reminding you, and so many people will just refuse to talk about it. If we enter this recession, it's not good, or, it doesn't even need to be a recession. But if we continue doing what we're doing on traditional markets, which is a possibility, right? It is not going to be good for cryptocurrency, okay? Lots of people I've seen lots of videos, lots of Twitter posts about people saying this is good for crypto, because if traditional markets die, if the US dollar dies, if everything dies, and if people go broke, and then they'll realize that, hey, a government-run monetary system is not beneficial, and then they'll start buying Bitcoin. Well, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that, okay? Because if they have no money, they're not going to buy Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is driven by the whales. And if the whales have no money, they're not going to buy Bitcoin either, okay? You don't buy high-risk assets during a high-risk period in the economy. It's just not how it works on any level, right? Maybe for you, as someone who's in a decent position in the middle class, or the upper middle class, or the upper class, but as a company who's just been shocked by interest rates being risen by 0.5%, and all of a sudden they've got hundreds of millions of dollars of stuff they need to pay back extra per year, they're going to have less purchasing power to buy into cryptocurrency markets. Then you get people losing their jobs, they're going to sell their crypto to pay their bills. This is not a good time for cryptocurrency at all. We are in very much uncharted territory right here to a certain extent on the macro scale, because we've never had a major correction, or we have had the 2020 correction, the COVID crash, but it literally lasted a month, okay? So it doesn't really count. But we haven't had a major medium-term correction or recession in the entire history of cryptocurrency's existence. It hasn't happened. And so we don't know how it's going to react. And so if you're holding altcoins right now, I'm not saying sell, because that's completely up to you, right? And personally, I can't tell you to sell now at 38K when I've been advocating for selling at 66K, because there's so much higher risk selling now than there was back when I sold. So I'm not saying sell. I'm just saying you have to seriously consider the fact that there is a genuine chance, and a completely sincere chance, that your altcoins, regardless of how high market cap they are, right, outside of Ethereum basically, could very well drop 80% from the current prices or more. There is a very, very serious possibility in that. And a lot of people on my channel, I know this for a fact because I've done polls, are relatively new to cryptocurrency. Okay, I'm not trying to, sprout fear. I want you to make your own decisions, but I want you to be informed of the reality. Okay, the reality is we're not just going to, go down a little bit more and then pump back up to 100K by the end of the year. It's not going to happen like that. Okay, that's not how I'm seeing it, at least. Unless something very major happens, it's unexpected. That's not how I'm seeing it. This is going to be a slow burn. And there are detrimental, life-changing risks involved. But when there's life-changing risks, there's obviously life-changing rewards to be made. And that's why we're outside the market right now. I'm outside the market. I'm waiting for an entry. I'm waiting for the right time to get in. I'm waiting for clarity of the macro situation. Buying into a high-risk market in a time of high risk in the economy is very, very, very risky. And some would even say stupid. Okay? And that's just what I wanted to say in this video. And, people, and to further counter the point, people who say that, well, this is good for crypto. War, Russia and Ukraine, it's good for crypto. Interest rates being high, it's good for crypto. Potential recession, it's good for crypto. Lockdowns, good for crypto. It's ridiculous, okay? Because the USD is rising. And if they raise interest rates, the USD is going to rise more in relation to other global currencies. And the DXY is historically, right, strongly reverse correlated to Bitcoin. So if this keeps going up, Bitcoin's going to keep going down. And the Federal Reserve raising interest rates means this basically keeps going up, okay, on paper, right? At 90% chance, it's probably going to keep going upwards if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. Now, that's a pretty telling sign there first and foremost. But then you look at things like Bitcoin dominance and you think that, well, for an altcoin holder specifically, it's like, even if this is a good time for cryptocurrency, no one's going to buy altcoins. They're going to buy Bitcoin, right? And even if it's a bad time, say it's a bad time for cryptocurrency, no one in their right mind is going to be touching altcoins until this is cleared up, which could be years, okay? They're going to buy Bitcoin only. That's if it's a good time for crypto. If not, everyone's going to be selling Bitcoin. So, again, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm not here to make any predictions. This is not a video about predictions. My prediction is pretty clear. My prediction is a 200-week SMA until proven otherwise. If we get down to the 200, I'm reevaluating. Okay? I'm not just buying straight away. I'm looking at the global economy. I'm looking at the global markets. If we get down to the 200-week, which is my prediction currently, and all of a sudden Russia goes to war with Ukraine, all of a sudden, something happens, I'm obviously not going to buy Bitcoin, all right? Because it's a terrible idea. But that is where I think Bitcoin is going in technical analysis. Now, the macro is very different. But, there are very, very big consequences beside, right next to every decision you make in this market right now. And I want everyone to know that. And I think it sounds a bit ridiculous coming from someone like me, who's clearly a young person, with a relatively small following in the cryptocurrency space. But I'm telling you what many of the big accounts won't tell you, because the big accounts want followers first and foremost. And people don't get followers spreading fear. I'm not trying to spread fear, but that's just what I'm doing. I'm being the devil's advocate. I'm being the person who you don't necessarily want to hear from right now. But it's the reality of the situation. And you speak to any economist who's not biased, and they'll probably tell you the same thing, right? And you do any research, Economics 101, it's probably the same thing in conclusion, right? So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying anything certain. I'm not saying we're going into a recession. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, because it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. But I'm saying there's a high enough chance of something like that playing out for it to be pretty stupid to buy into cryptocurrency right now on anything other than a scalp trade. Okay? Just wait and know your risk. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for being negative all the time, but that's just how it is. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.